Okay, so this is not part of the last episode, but I noticed while editing that Sarava has a Naruto parody poster in the background, and I didn't notice it. As a Naruto fan, I am disappointed in myself. Alexa, play Sadness and Sorrow. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Friendsim. Oh man, I'm enjoying this ever so much, even though I fail at least at once a thing. Yeah, I totally failed it. Like, in both those storylines, I cannot catch a break. If I sound a little bit, I don't know, like if my voice sounds a little bit off, I just went walking outside in like 50-degree weather and came back inside and I'm having hot cocoa, so my voice is gonna be messed up. Because you can't have sweets and record. But by golly, I wanted hot chocolate so bad. Anyway, let's get a start on Volume 3 of Ladies Grey and Lucy White. Putting one foot in front of the other, you continue on through this strange alien world. Just when you think stuff is beginning to make sense, it all slips through your fingers and becomes even stranger and more alien. There does, however, seem to be one thing that remains constant through all planets and walks of life. That thing is friendship. You are on the prowl for more. It would have perhaps been wise to stay with one of your wonderful new friends until you are fully healed. But, as Martha Stewart said, visitors like fish begin to smell after 3 days. You are almost positive Martha Stewart said that. Nevertheless, you soldier on in your endless quest for companionship. Where will your travels take you next? Okay, they both are adorable. Okay, I'm gonna go with the one that looks like she's flipping me off with her troll sign. Okay. Scylla Corgia. Let's see. Scylla. Is it Scylla? Or is it Scylla? Well, if it's 2 L's, that's a Y. I'll just go with Scylla as easier on my brain. Scylla Corriga. As dawn approaches, you find yourself heading out of the big city and into the rustic outskirts. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. This is my aesthetic. Bring on the bronze blood guitars and whistles. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be outside. Man, the sun sure is bright on this planet. It's rising over the crest of the distant hills, a huge fiery ball. The later it gets, the bigger and bigger it grows, way bigger than you've ever seen the sun on Earth. What's that smell? Could it be your flesh beginning to sizzle? Fantastic! You love the country! No wonder the nightlife seems so active in Alternia. They're all nocturnal to avoid the brutal daily roasting. Sounds like Twitter. Alternia's Twitter confirmed. You reach into your pocket for your cool new shades, but you appear to have left them at your friend's house. Crap. Oh, what was that? You gotta get yourself together. The recent physical trauma and extensive blood loss has you a little fuzzy. You weren't built for this wilderness survival stuff. You're starting to wish you had stolen a freaking Lamborghini or something instead of a spaceship. This seriously isn't looking good. The city is too far away now for you to turn back, so you have no choice but to keep walking. Maybe you can find a cave or a hole in the ground. Maybe you can just cover yourself with grass. You wish that someone had mentioned the Death Sun in between offering you alien meat products and calling you their muse. Off to your left in the distance, you catch sight of what might be a shimmer of sunlight on glass. A window? A solar panel? You could seriously clean up with renewable energy on this planet. Should you change your trajectory and go towards the shimmer, might just be a mirage. Oh, shoot. Man, this is just banging. I love this so much. Okay, the music is great. Go towards the shimmer or forget it. Shimmer it goes as you turn your aching, stinging meat sack towards this distant, promising sparkle for safety and succor. You focus on the staying upright, one step at a time. You keep swimming or whatever. Ugh, this sun though. It's like SPF 5 million for this nonsense. But then, almost like it has picked itself up to some scuttling to... But then, almost like it has picked itself up to come scuttling to meet you, you suddenly find yourself in front of a long, low structure. You let out a yelp of anguish, pounding on the door. At least you hope it's the door. Oh, what in the... Okay, we gotta go country as far as you can, Jen. If this was a valley girl, you would definitely do that. But we're in Texan territory right now. So let's try it. What in the world? The door opens and you fall inside with one of the most pathetic whimpers of your career. Blessed darkness closes in on you. From right beside you comes a sniffling yip, like some joker is making fun of your dire situation. Something warm and wet slides up your stinging cheek. Hold on, lady. Give him some room. A pair of hands helps you sit up gently. What Lucis licked us in the face? Oh, it's a dog! Shit! Ow! I hurt my head. Oh, headphones. Ow! I'm okay. Okay. Still. Okay. She has a dog! I see in the background! Still. Ow. Okay. I'm fine, though. She's got, like, some sort of allspice on the counter there. Okay. I'm looking at all the surroundings, I'm sorry. Okay. A pair of hands helps you sit up gently. Your eyes haven't adjusted enough to make out more than a couple shapes, one up right and one lower to the ground. What were you doing out there? Can you stand? Strong arms pull you to your feet. You wonder if everyone on this planet is strong or if you're just extremely flimsy. Yes. What a coincidence, I'm having hot chocolate, and we are talking to a bronze blood. Okay. They guide you to a chair at the end of a long table. Stuttering, you begin to explain yourself that you are an injured, exhausted traveler who is ravenous for pals. Well, bless your heart. Oh, she's so Texan. But hold on a tick. Dinner's about to burn. Now that your rescuer mentions it, you can smell something. It smells amazing. Funny you should just blunder in here like that. I was just saying that, wasn't I, lady? It's been so long since we had any sort of guests who weren't Imperial drones or out to rob us. You rub at your watering, slowly clearing eyes. When you look up at your rescuer, finally comes into focus. She's tall. Taller than anyone else you've met here, you think. Also maybe a little older? Not that you're an expert in troll physiology, but she has an air of knowledgeable competence. She's wearing a fringed jacket and holding up a plate. Here you go. Your oculus feeling any better? By the by, my name's Scylla. Pleasure to meet you. And this here's lady. Oh, it's a border collie that's been photoshopped to hell. Yes, I live for this. She looks down and at first you think she means the table, but then you look under the table at a giant monster dog looking up at you. You jolt so hard you almost fly backward out of your chair. Sounds familiar. Ow, my ears are still hurting from that. Whoa there! No need for theatrics. It looks a little like one of those lassie dogs with the pointed noses, except enormous and pure white. It barks practically shake the whole house. Hey there, lady. No need to be rude. They've clearly had one hell of a time and they don't look dangerous. Just really peculiar. Besides, if they try anything, you and me can take them. Scylla puts her hands on her hips, staring you down with thunderous yellow eyes. Right. No funny business, you hear? You swallow and nod, trying to look unthreatening and obliging. Ready for anything. For instance, friendship. You are so ready for that. Scylla sets down the plate she's holding. Here, have some grub cake. Don't tell him what it is. There's plenty. That sounds gross as hell, but what's sitting on the plate looks and smells exactly like a normal pancake. Golden brown and crispy on the edges. Here's boiled tree blood too, if you like. Also churned dairy product. She puts down a carafe of syrup. I think it's carafe. And a dish of butter. Man, everything here is really weird names. Scylla pours out a cup of some very familiar smelling liquid. Brown bean juice, you guess. Scylla raises an eyebrow. No. That's just coffee. Coffee. Suddenly she hit, the northeast. Crap. That's just coffee. She sits down next to you. You're lucky you are the only out in the light at dawn. Nobody wants to be out in direct Alternian sunlight, besides Jadebloods. And no offense, but y'all certainly ain't any Jadeblood that I've ever seen. At first I thought you was some kind of mutant Lucis, 'cause you don't have horns, and you were grunting and yipping up a storm back there. But you're an alien, right? Don't worry. I won't call the drones. I'd best get used to being around aliens anyway. Seeing as how I'm gonna be seeing a whole mess of y'all come next sweep. Yeah, I thought so. She's about to get, snatched. She laughs nervously. You aren't sure what she's talking about. Do you even need to specify that anymore? It's just natural law at this point. Gravity, the conservation of energy, and you don't know what the heck's going on. Lady, would you mind drawing us a bath for our guest? No offense, but you smell like you could use one. You can't argue with that. You offer her a cautious smile. She seems so nice and caring. But you've been burned before, and cut, and generally kicked around by fate. It's a tough world out there, but you want to trust Scylla. Lady takes a bucket out in her muzzle and runs out of the yard. Bucket! Sorry. And runs out into the yard, getting up on her hind legs and batting at the door latch to open it. It's adorable. Oh, she's out. The sun is high enough outside that the whole landscape outside is washed in white. Oh gosh, the dog! Oh, that's sweet of you to worry. Lucia, fine going outside for a little while in the daylight. The coats reflect light, or something to that effect. Sure, okay, I'll believe that. I don't really know how it works. I ain't exactly known for my scientific acumen. And it might explain why Kanaya's Lucis was able to be outside with her. So, okay, whatever. You tell her that she seems pretty smart from where you're standing. As cynical as you are becoming, you just can't help try to be your friend. She's so nice and, wow, very, very pretty. Not that that's a requirement for friendship, but your retinas would have been way more scalded than they are not to notice that. I can read. That's nice of you to say. But it really wouldn't matter if I was a bona fide genius. Some of my caste could never hope to rise up in the ranks. Best I can hope for is hauling crates on some cargo vessel. Ranks? Cargo vessel. You swallow your bites of grub cake, ready to ask her if she's thinking about joining the military. But just then, a swell of noise erupts from outside the house. Shouts, crashes, and ladies' frantic barks. Scylla gasps and launches herself out of her chair, knocking over the carafe of syrup. It oozes across the table in a sticky wave. Oh no! Not now! What the hell is going on? Bandits! Dang it, Lucis thieves! You don't get a chance to ask anything else before Scylla careens towards the door, throwing up an arm as blazing white light pours in. Oh gosh, she's going to go outside and burn up. She isn't thinking straight. You gotta do something. Stop her or help her. I'm gonna help her. Let us die. What the hell? You've already experienced the Alternian sun. It sucked a whole lot. Maybe now we'll suck less, because of how bad it sucked then. Just a scalding scale of suckage. Scylla plunges out in the daylight in the direction of the commotion, and like a big dumb idiot, you barrel out of the into the blazing hellscape after her. Surprise, it still sucks. You've had sunburns before, but this is ridiculous. This is a monster of a gas giant pointing and laughing at this tiny speck of humanity you represent. Humanity? We're not human. We're MS Paint Adventure fan. He's closer to a Carapacian or whatever the Problem Sleuth guys were. Okay, trembling before the void. It's a pure assault on all your senses. The light is almost as bad as the heat, and you put up your arms to block the glare, followed by the dust Scylla kicks up behind her. You doubt your eyes will actually ever adjust to this, but you can see a little better than before. There are about a dozen of them all of them trolls, all wearing dark, padded outfits to cover their faces. They look halfway between hazmat suits and SWAT uniforms. All of them have big, fake-looking guns that probably aren't fake. In fact, one of them shoots a laser at your face. You duck, and it leaves a blazing heat trail across your cheek. That, as all of you is currently burning, it doesn't really break your stride. Scylla I keep trying to say Scylla, and I'm like, that is a different beast entirely. But shit. Okay, Scylla throws herself into the fray, letting out a war cry accompanied by the sound of a fist hitting flesh. It's 12 against 2, which, if you remember your fractions right, is not unlike 6 against 1. Way to go. But these guys have probably not been expecting a frontal assault, and they had definitely not been expecting a Scylla, who is frankly terrifying. She shoves 3 trolls down like dominoes, grabbing up a discarded gun and shooting all 3 while they're on the ground. Whoops, what was that? You have never been in a fight before? Let's see. A all-out brawl. It's scary, but now that you are in the thick of it, also kind of awesome? Sure, your skin is burning and you could be killed at any moment, but that's just how it goes on this planet. You just gotta get into the swing of things. Take no prisoners, kill or be killed. Hell yeah! Oh, look at her. She's so happy. I love her. She's my favorite one so far. I love her. True. The one Rustblood that we accidentally killed. That was... I liked him, but I really love her. Look at her. Look at her go. You pop off one of the bandit trolls in the face. Man, that probably hurt your fist more than the troll, but it does throw them off balance for long enough for Scylla to smash the butt of her gun into the side of their head. Yeehaw! Hell yeah! She gives you a wild grin. The two of you are beaming at each other while a hostile alien sun tries to boil away the liquid from your eyeballs and and a bunch of bandits try to dognap a giant monster. You love this girl. In a friendship way. But still you love her. You make an awesome team. Another troll comes up from behind Scylla and she smashes... I keep saying Scylla. Kill me. Okay, behind Scylla and she smashes an elbow into their throat, grabbing them by the front of their uniform and suplexing them onto the dusty ground. She wails on them with her bare hands. Gosh. She's really hot. Get lady! Oh, right. You stumble over to where the Lucis is thrashing inside a big black net. You don't have any way to cut her free, but she's already doing a great job on her own, biting through the fibers with her big sharp teeth. You hold the net still for her to finish the job, and then pull it off her so she can join the fray. It's over fast after that. How did they even get Lady into a net in the first place? She's so giant and quick, grabbing trolls in her jaws and shaking them like chew toys. The remaining 5 who are still standing jump into their weird little dune buggies and make tracks. Emphasis on the bug. They look like scuttling little beetles. Scylla chases after them for a few hundred yards, throwing the gun after them and shouting obscenities. Stay away, you hear? Tell the rest of them why you don't mess with a rusty ramp. With a Rusty's ranch? Or you're not a rust blood. You're a bronze blood. She stands silhouetted against the blazing sun, the dust trails vanishing into the distance. You're You are awash in the heady victory, giggling like a lunatic, before the adrenaline kind of drains out of you all at once. You are violently reminded that you messed up your ribs and recent blood loss. The Alternian sun beats down and your arms are already covered in raised patches of red skin. This is a sunburn turned up to 11. Whoa there, are you okay? Scylla is swaying too. A spray of olive green blood covers her cheek. At least the rainbow blood on this planet means you can be sure it isn't hers, but she still looks rough, kind of how you feel. Lady, come here, girl. You're just gonna sit down, maybe just take a little break. The pale landscape swoops, going even paler. 2 seconds. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. No, you can't rest here. You'll die, idiot. I'm not letting anything happen to my new best friend. Get up. New best friend? Holy crap! That makes you so happy! You absolutely can't die here! Not when you've just made an amazing friend. Somehow the two of you manage to drag each other across the yard and towards the house. Hive. You're gonna get this lingo down if it kills you. Whenever you feel yourself about to fall forward, you lean on Scylla. When you start to fall back, Lady's there to brace herself against the back of your knees. She's such a good losers. You wonder if she'll be your friend too! Her muzzle is dripping with the soup of multicolored alien blood. When you get back into the darkness of the hive, you can't see crap. Dang, your species really ain't suited for this kind of environment, huh? You can't even see in the dark. Oh, I can see you barely. I need to tilt the screen. Okay. You can't even see in the dark. In demonstration, you walk right into the table. You've about had it with tables. You're sworn enemies at this point. Table-kun, no! Sorry, that's a different story altogether, ain't that? Please don't knock down my nutrition platform. I built it myself. She sounds exhausted, but giddy. Dang, you really did that thing, didn't you? You kind of went to go in for the hug, but that sunburn is really something. Feels like tiny needles piercing your arms and cheeks. The back of your neck is a colony of fire ants. Oh yeah, feels real bad, don't it? Come here, there's only one cure for sun rash. Scylla helps your hand. Gosh, this is next level friendship stuff. She leads you through her hive, and who knows if you're ever going to get all your vision back. Maybe you're just blind for life. You'll have to get a cane and a whimsical aesthetic and learn to navigate the world by smell alone. No, that'd be stupid. Terezi, burn! Okay. Here we go. My coop ain't huge, but you're kinda scrawny. What are you waiting for? Take your clothes off. Man, the sun must have messed with you more than your eyes, because you could have sworn Scylla just told you to take your clothes off. You are seriously not getting in my raccoon in those filthy rags. I'm not even sure what those clothes were supposed to be originally. Yeah, you aren't so sure about your look either. Another new friend of yours told you it was rad, but you were both a little high at the time. You might be a little high right now. You wonder if sunstroke causes auditory hallucinations. Also, you don't know what a raccoon is. Huh? Really? Then what the heck do you sleep in on your planet? You hear rustling, followed by the sound of clothes hitting the floor and a weird gloop gloop, like someone getting into a bathtub, only thicker. If a troll didn't have sopa, well, I rightly don't know what would happen, but I reckon it wouldn't be great. Hey, you shut up. Zephyros is doing an amazing job, and I love him. You don't insult my son. Okay. It can speed the healing process for burns and small wounds. I'm not sure what it's gonna do to your weird alien anatomy, but I don't see how it's gonna make it any worse. Burn. You tell Scylla that in your experience things can always get worse, especially from her perspective right now, since she's about to see you naked. Nothing like a little self-deprecating humor as an A+ cover for crippling insecurity. Scylla laughs. Come on now. I'm sure you're a perfectly healthy example of your species. Now get in already. I promise this ain't any sort of pale solicitation. There we go. Woo! Or flushed, for that matter. I know it's awkward, but I only got the one coop. Right, okay, yeah, you were totally do this. You can make this not weird. Of course, you trip taking off your dang pants, and Scylla starts laughing all over again. Not in a mean way, more in a chill, please join me in my slime bathtub, old chum way. In a non-awkward way. In a friend way. Victory! I don't know if that's lighting, like the lighting or what, but it kind of looks like she's blushing, but who knows? But man, we are pink. But victory, we didn't screw up once. Holy crap. There's a first time for everything. Yes. Okay. Let's go for the next one. Ladies in gray and white. Continuing. There's friendship, we're on the prowl for some. Martha Stewart says, get out of everyone's house. Okay, now we're going straight to Bronya Ursama. Okay, then. Do you have a bear, Lucy? I'm just asking. She's super cute. Tell us about Jadebloods. Hey, we in a cave. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it is also providing an unwelcome respite from friend making. Maybe it was too much to hope for that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of... Oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Aw, her theme is cute. Oh, what should her voice be? Aw, crap. Okay. We already did a country voice. I don't think she's a valley girl. Though I love her aesthetic, she's got like the... Oh, gosh. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like pinafore, and she's got like the Peter Pan collar. So she's really freaking cute. Okay. And I like that her horn is just slightly off to the side at the tip right there. Okay, we can figure this out. She seems like a nice kind of normal girl. She's got like a little happy tune that sounds kind of synthy-ish, so. Okay, we can do this. Just go for what sounds right. Okay. Oh, hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jadeblood. Or anything else, really. Actually, how strange. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You are lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think. Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two. I see. My responsibility is to my jades and the mother grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet. But you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Oh, well, we found a Jadeblood. She'll take care of us. One way or the other. Here in the brooding caverns, we follow a few simple rules. She's got V's? Okay. I don't get it. Are they supposed to be her horns? Or are they supposed to be stalactites? I think stalactites are the ones that hang tight to the ceiling. Anyway. 1. Don't invite drama from up top down below. 2. Protect the mother grub. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. Let's do everything we can to keep our current record of dozens of sweeps without any jades being culled. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you just nod your head. Good. I'll take you to our hive. Follow me. You follow her into her hive, which looks kind of like a school or some kind of dormitory with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Usually more of my jades are around. I suppose that everyone is out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Whoa. We getting into this? Okay. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. Don't be alarmed by the bizarre appearance. They seem to be... No, one. Okay, one. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm Jadeblood welcome. She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her the thumbs up to show her that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend. But that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you upgrade from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. Oh, we in some grub kindergarten? I can't wait to learn about this. Okay. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the 2nd floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging at the revolting sight. Shut your mouth. There are big, baby-sized, larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell? This is our nursery. Most of these wrigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them here until they're well enough to go back into the caverns and spin their cocoons. She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eyeing like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them, the same way I take care of my jades. A nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You can sort of see how the wrigglers look like babies. You can't believe that one of these things could grow up into anything that looks like Bronya. But this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done with your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high-tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess that most of what we have is stuff for wigglers. I keep saying wrigglers, too. It's wigglers. And I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best try anyway. 1, even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2, maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined. Determination. It might be rude to say no. Saving time. Saving time. Okay, go for it. My ribs are already broken, so where's the harm? No thanks, I'll heal on my own just fine. Okay, if I'm remembering this, usually the things are you're supposed to like choose the obviously good choice, and then the second choice you're supposed to go with the one that you would think would be absolutely crazy. I can't remember if this is the first choice or the second choice. Yeah, I'll go for it. Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get to your injured bellow sac enclosures. Yes, like that. Turn to the part that's all bloody and horrifying towards me. She has something that looks like some kind of ointment? It's a shade of bright green similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong about applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it into your broken skin, you feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively. Your momentum carries you too far, and you step back, you trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down. You're yelling, "Timber!" You feel something soft and squishy break your fall. You hear a horrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. You've fallen right on top of one of the wigglers. You roll off if it's no use. It's squished flat and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might have been its blood. You look up to see Bronya's horrified face and know that there's no hope of friendship in those vengeful eyes. You might want to run before I throw you out of this window and break the rest of your bones. Okay, game over. Alternia's deadliest butt. Okay. That was a nice run while it lasted. Healing on my own. Oh, well, if you're sure. I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. You try to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street, after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know if I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent. At all times. You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, and competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's good to have a visit for... It's a good time for a visit to the mother grub. You're careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are bigger than you first realized. They're also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mention that living underground like this seems depressing. You realize too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place of life and birth, not death. It's pretty uncommon on Alternia. You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wigglers in her nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and larger stalactites, with some young trolls crawling about them. No, crawling out of them. I can read. Walking, flying, and crawling among the wrigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. The center of the cavern, there is... You don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge, many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray wigglers will hatch. And marching through all this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets either to or away from the mother grub. They look armed, and they move like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You're instinctively terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jadebloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which of course is a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs to hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wrigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by a Lucis to help care for them. 4. Together, the young trolls and their Luci will go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up, or get culled, or whatever. As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left, and in the process tramples over a few wigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luci crying out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. Oh no, it's a bison! One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Luci with its front hoof. Oh geez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Lucis goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's the potential for it to lash out at another Luci, the Wigglers, or the mother grub herself. Jadebloods cannot let that happen! She looks so concerned, a marked contrast of how confident she seemed before. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems now is your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Lucis, and that someone could be you? Here we go. Save it. For now. Fight the monster, save the day, you've got this. The bison Lucis seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Luci have now gotten riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wigglers. I keep saying, no, wigglers was correct, dang it. Gather wigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede, and they're close to Mother Grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handed seems like a daunting first step in friendship, but you did tell her you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're gonna stop that, Lucis, calm down all the other Luci, and protect the Mother Grub, all without breaking a sweat and hopefully without breaking any more bones, either. Whoa there, I was gonna suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you, because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You can take down a raging bison back on your home planet all the time. You're known for it, actually. Well, if you say that this isn't your first ungulate roping gallop expedition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back and let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. 1, caring for the Mother Grub is my responsibility as a Jadeblood. 2, I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own, if we end up being friends, that is. Oh, hell yes. Now you have reason to hope. Bring it on, bison! You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like an herbivore. At first, you try to calm the Lucis down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trampled charge. You're not sure it can even understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the Mother Grub. You look around to see if any of these other Luci look vaguely like an Earth sheepdog, but no dice. You hesitate too long, and the Lucis turns away, its furious eyes falling on the Mother Grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it, football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it to its side. It half works! You plow into the Lucis and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over a nest of wigglers, taking you down with it. Frickin' hell. Wigglers and young trolls are bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and their Luci descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Lucis, which is very worrying for all your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all other angry Luci trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to be dicey, you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly like the trouncing of some smaller Luci that are trying to get you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her. Oof. I'm having a hard time getting this thing off you, and he's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. Where's a bronze blood when you need one? Ha ha ha. You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak, or move, or help. Your experience is of sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Bronya and becoming her friend, or it could be a compression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by a mass of bison flesh on top of you, but could it be? Are these other people here to save you? Let's all work together, girls. 1. You grab his horns and keep the head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2. The rest of you come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that sound more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain of your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and they must succeed in dragging it off you because you suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the tavern ceiling, Tavern? Where do I think I am? The cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Uh-oh, the other Luci are still agitated. Get down here and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try to lift yourself up to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all your bones got turned into confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronya's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be, and less on the pain. This is no good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could get injured. Not to mention all these wigglers in danger. Oh no. You didn't think this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that have been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe they can instill some order. Crap, they're going to kill everyone. She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting your head whacked onto the cave floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Luci, at the grubs, at the wigglers, and at the Jadebloods. One laser beam skims on the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on the drones and Luci and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. The whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and Luci blood is splattering all over the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the mother grub to the imperiled wigglers like she's not sure who to help first. I can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. And all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I could let this moment plant its seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really stupid. You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already knew is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. Crap. Game over, you killed them all. Oh no. Let's try that again. Be a weenie. You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend's species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all the helpless toddlers and distressing animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think you can take on any kind of monster right now. In fact, you felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend. Like some sort of combination of these two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop the rampaging Lucis. Your heart flutters, turned to pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. You try to think of what you can say to dissuade her, something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder, and her face sags with relief. Yes, the other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. Before you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lucis away from the mother grub, while the other trolls calm the remaining Luci and swoop up any wigglers in harm's way. Looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. Just goes to show, sometimes the best thing you can do for a group is take care of the weakest person in it. You kind of want to object about being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that, at your side, several wigglers are blindingly squirming around, confused and crying. There's some young trolls here too, looking around, all lost and bereft. You're not sure if their Luci ran off when the others got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing them out of the natural cavern life, the wigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they look even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest wigglers closest to you has somehow flipped himself over onto his back and seems unable to right himself, his little legs waving in the air as he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach down to scoop him up and cradle him to your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down. Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. Almost like you could be his Lucis, or a Jadeblood. You're pleased that she approved of your caretaking display. The wiggler's cough breaks your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down, you realize that he's having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation. You really are a natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive in a potential friend. But as for the wiggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be cold for sure. Bronya takes the wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby. That's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kind of painful, and Bronya holds the wiggler carefully, but with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Here we go, we're back inside. Once Bronya feels assured that her Jades have the situation at the brooding caverns under control, you both take the wiggler back to the Jadeblood nursery. You'll hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the wiggler and submerges him under the slime because, he was already having trouble breathing? Surely drowning him in slime won't help. The soapers should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrow shoot. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him to the cavern and set him free to make his cocoon and pupate. But he's so small, it's unlikely he'll survive the trials, or be selected by a Lucis. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system is set up with the wigglers and the trials in the culling seems pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest. It's just the way the world works. It's fine. It's fine. The trials are how young trolls prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be culled. It's the purpose of Jadebloods to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently the hemospectrum. 1. We are not revolutionaries. 2. We're meant to do our jarbs? We're meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. 3. We would never presume the question of the basic tenets of Alternian society that would bring negative attention to the High Bloods, and I just want to keep my Jades safe. You looked around the nursery and all these injured and underdeveloped wigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She's looking at you like she's scared that you'll call her out on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try to salvage the conversation thread. Did you say that calling wigglers sounded brutal? You meant neutral. Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic. Neither committed to the culling side of things, nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Yes. Neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good word to describe exactly how I feel about all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't. Technically. There is no reason for any of Triz's drones to come investigating our hive, and if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room, like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. I feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and then why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding, neutral ways. Thank you. That means a lot. You cast about something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens and she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties. I'm glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You are overcome, your eyes filled with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. Yay! Victory! Self-care comes first! Yee! Look at this. Look at this little dude. Look at this dude. Okay. Yeah, we did it! Friends! We got Bronze Brawlin' and self-care. You took care of the weakest link. Okay. This is great. Okay. Awesome-tastic. Well, that's all for now. It's getting really dark in my room because the sun just set like maybe 20 minutes ago. I will see you guys all next time for the next volume of Friendsim. Bye!
Hey there. Consider becoming a patron, just like the phenomenal Gerald Thomas, Bleed Red, and Alexander Madeline.